versus Neptune. We've got draft going on. What's up? What are you thinking?
Neptune's life is on the line here. They are down 1-0 in this best of three. They need to win both games to have a shot of going into the Enter the Storm 2. But I don't know. SK seems to have this on lock. This is going to be really difficult, I think, for them to be able to pull up 2 wins here.
Yeah, that's going to be really... Looking at game number 1, it was such a landslide victory, I'd have to say, for SK Gaming. It didn't look like it was much of a shot for Neptune to really take that and turn that around, but it's possible that Neptune Gaming was just had like kind of underestimated what their opponents were going to do in game number 1, and Cursed Hollow can sometimes be a little bit difficult to get back into the game. I mean, we've seen even, the most amazing teams get locked down in a situation in Cursed Hollow where they really just can't come back, and sometimes it comes down to like really last second, split second decisions at the end game in order to turn it all around, but it just didn't look like Neptune was going to be able to do that. So, Dragonshire, going to be game number 2, first pick going over to Neptune.
Something to note with Neptune here is that they do have first pick, first ban, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to grab that in New Barak. They showed that they first picked it in their game versus Diablo Snores, so if they can get that, maybe that would help take away some of SK's power. They've been grabbing him every single time, so I wouldn't expect that. But for now, we're doing bans. Or I wouldn't, yeah, you get it. Lost Vikings are going to be banned by Neptune Gaming, and SK once again banning Sylvanas. Same bans as before.
Yeah, so nothing too crazy coming out here. Dragonshire, though, of course, you're going to have a little bit of a different setup for how you want to play your team. Lost Vikings is a really good ban here because you can always put one Viking into the dragon and still have 2 other able Vikings running around on the map. So that's what I'm kind of curious about, how they're going to actually play this game, is really just what they're going to do here in terms of the rest of their composition, because Dragonshire, I think, is one of those maps where it really relies upon having the stronger team composition, but more so decision making. I always find that Dragonshire is one of those maps where you can really, really tell who's better at decision making rather than any of the other maps.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. This is a map that it's not always clear what you need to do next because of how the shrines are. Whether you need to go down to one shrine, if you need to split up and try to go to both, if you need to go to middle, it's a lot more difficult to make decisions on this map for sure. And for that reason, it's definitely one that I am always really nervous to play on. We'll have to see. We know that SK has had great decision making throughout though, and they're choosing to pick up Kael'thas and Tyrael here.
2 really good pickups here, especially because later on, if you really kind of ever watch how the Dragon Knight fights kind of go, if you're defending or you're on the offensive, everybody kind of piles around that little gate area, and everybody wants to try and get in and kind of just defend or attack the dragon, and it allows for really good time for things like chain bombs or just really big verdant sphered flame strikes to really do a lot of damage because everybody groups up very, very closely. And if he goes for Flame Strike, you can do it from a very safe distance and just do a lot of free damage. Tyrael, of course, always a really good pickup, especially if you get into the Dragon Knight, you can immediately just Anduin Mites out of there. Neptune Gaming going to take away SK's Anubarak, though.
Yeah, they are, and that makes me wonder if SK are going to try to just solo take with the Tyrael, or if they will try to grab something on top of that. But we should definitely see Neptune actually trying to steal more away from SK Gaming, also going for the Brightwing here.
Yeah, and the Vala, so they're setting up at a pretty nice little rotation right now, and of course Brightwing is really good on this map because she can teleport from the shrine immediately to possibly the dragon fight. And this is going to be a really good point here for Neptune to be able to have that Brightwing, as well as if she goes for anything like a crazy promote, she can possibly just push down those lanes while she's holding one of those shrines. So it's going to be a really nice advantage on the map. Just have that global presence, of course, as always, that Brightwing. Jaina going to be coming in here for SK Gaming, and it looks like they possibly want to pick up probably another really beefy warrior in order to kind of make that line in the front line and just really deny Neptune from being able to get into the back.
Yeah, they definitely are going to have their work cut out for them in trying to keep heroes off of Kael'thas and Jaina. These two together deal so much damage. They are the song of ice and fire, but they are both really squishy and have very, very little in terms of escapability. So I think we'll definitely be seeing that, as well as somebody who is really good at keeping them alive, a good healer, and there is Muradin.
Yeah, Muradin's going to be a really nice pickup here. And here's saying a Song of Ice and Fire. We only need a dragon. Oh, wait, it's on the enemy team. But this is Dragon Shire, so maybe that Song of Ice and Fire is going to get them that dragon a little bit easier. Neptun Gaming, though, now up to bat for picking up their last 2 heroes. They need probably one more ranged and probably one more warrior. I'm going to assume ETC and Falstad?
I think I am right there in agreement with you. Falstad would be so good. They would have both Falstad and Brightwing to be able to go quickly take a shrine. They are really frustrating to play against on this map because you can be like, great, we've got both shrines, and then all of a sudden Falstad just flies in, grabs one of the shrines, and then barrel rolls on out of there and causing you to constantly not quite be able to pick them up. And if they were even going to have an ETC too, that could even spell more difficulty when it comes to trying to get those shrines and get the Dragon Knight.
That's quite true, and that's one of the great points about this map is really, it's not so much of you getting the Dragon Knight, it's also denying your opponent the ability to get that Dragon Knight. And if you can do that as well as push at all of your lanes, you're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot to be able to take this map a little bit more confidently. Hubba, we're seeing a Tychus again.
He's back!
He is back.
And not even versus an Illidan this time, just a straight up Tychus here, and I'm wondering if we'll see, I'm guessing we'll see an Odin, although people sometimes like to take that laser drill in situations like the shrines or the temples on Sky Temple, situations where you're trying to fight within a certain area and you can throw that down, forcing them to get out of it.
And that's an interesting pickup here, though, because I guess if they go for Brightwing and she picks up Promote and he picks up Melting Point, that's going to be a really nice, strong pushing potential. And I guess the laser is also going to, or maybe even the Odin, is going to give them that really long range ability to kind of poke behind the gate if they pick up that Dragon Knight. This is what I'm going to be really curious to see, how this Tychus is going to be played here. ETC going to be their last pickup. I don't think anybody's surprised. We're going to have a nice little tour bus of Neptun Gaming walking through this map if they get ETC to do exactly what they need him to do, which is just disrupt SK Gaming as much as possible.
Very true, and SK choosing their support, they're going with the Malfurion here. We've seen him a whole bunch already in this qualifier. He has great potential in terms of roots, and with the stuns from Muradin, that's going to be really nice for Kael'thas and Jaina to be able to throw a ton of damage on top of them, as well as he's got great healing potential too.
Alright, so let's see if we can get everybody going here. I can't seem to suggest you to game. I don't know what's going on here. I'm having a little bit of a weird glitch. So let me see if I can just try and join the lobby back up and invite you into the game.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry about earlier. There we go. I accidentally logged back into the wrong server. We are on the European server, and there we go.
Yes, we are. All right. So, and speaking of European server, we've got SK Gaming, who's one of the best European teams that is out there by far. They just do so incredibly well. I mean, I don't think they're on the absolute top tier, but they're definitely one of those names that everybody knows, and they're known for a reason. They're a really good team, so it's a little bit of an uphill battle here for Neptun Gaming because they've got to go against SK. And SK is just, you know, no slouch in terms of being able to play their maps perfectly and play their compositions to a T.
Yeah, they have shown us some amazing decision making and really great drafts as well, often outdrafting teams and surprising them, like with the Sergeant Hammer pick earlier. I really also like that they are setting up the lobby in a way that Neptun is always in blue, because that's how it should be.
Yeah, that is actually pretty nice. And I'm curious to see just really what Neptune's strategy is. They're down a game. They have to win Dragonshire, which is a bit of a decision-making map, and we can already see that SK was making pretty good decisions last time.
Yeah, they definitely were. Neptun, I think it's going to come down to what we think of that Tychus and what that Tychus can do too, is that's not always a standard pick, but they do have ETC and a Nubarak, and the Dragonshire is not always about having a good, solid 5v5 team fight composition, as much as having teams that are good with skirmishes, especially in the early game, because you are going to be separated. Lots of little fights happening around the map, around those shrines, and that's something that they could excel at.
Yeah, and that's going to be what they really need to do. They really need to emphasize that possible victory here in their team composition. And if they're able to do that, they're able to just get that Dragon Knight, then maybe we can start seeing them turn around. But still, the Dragon Knight at the earlier stage of the game, kind of weaker. So SK is going to be at a little bit of an advantage if that's not going to be an advantage that they can really push. And if they have to wait until late game to really always get that Dragon Knight, then it could potentially turn into their favor. But for the most part, if the late game advantage is yours, it's going to be a really, really rough early game.
Yeah, for sure. And SK has shown us constantly that if they get an advantage in the early game, they will never get rid of it. They will never give it up. And they've done that time and time again. And so Neptune's going to at least have to keep on par there. They cannot let SK get ahead in the early game. But I think with their team comp, they could have the potential to do that.
Well, we've got such epic skins coming out here. Siege playing the Master Skin ETC, and look at how golden he is. He's got like golden border on absolutely everything. It looks really fancy. Our players, actually no, I could swap over into the main screen just to showcase just how beautiful that is. Look at how beautiful that ETC is. That's so nice looking. But yeah. Anyway, back to the main points, the things that matter here. ETC, pretty awesome hero, especially with that new tour bus. So maybe they could turn that around. Just getting that tour bus later on, a mosh pit can easily make and break a game.
Yeah, you know what would be fun is if we saw a game go to level 20. That's like not something that often happens with SK. They've done it, I think, once on a Cursed Hollow game, right?
No, that was the Blackhearts game with Blackhearts game with Casticide. Wow. That was the only game we've ever seen actually go to 20, I think, today.
Yeah, they've been pretty fast because SK, with their crazy decision making and pushing their advantage as much as they possibly can, it just never goes there. But maybe we will be in for a treat here, Shampoo, as we are on Dragonshire.
Maybe, just maybe. We'll see. We'll see if SK allows this to happen, or if they're going to take a quick victory like we saw last game. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight on into this game. Spawning over here on the left-hand side, currently down one game. It is Neptun Gaming. Ooh, I'm fabulous, taking on the Anub Iraq. We've got Blade on the Tychus, Phi on the Vala. In the mid lane, we've got Bad News Airy on the Brightwing, and Siege. Hey, sitting on that nice little ETC with the wolf, the white wolf, the cool little white wolf.
Fashion points to Siege for sure. In the red is SK Gaming. Kiefer's playing Muradin. Bakery on Jaina. Rave. TGN playing Malfurion. Zarmini on that Tyrael. And playing Kael'thas is Snitch.
Wow, look at that Kael'thas. Looks so luxurious, so high and regal. Look at that little flowing cape. I believe they just added cape dynamics in the last patch, and it looks really, really nice.
Yes, it is very beautiful. And right away, Vala going for the multi-shot build. So we are going to be going for more of the AoE there. It looks like both teams trying to set up some ganks, but both teams have a scouting drone as well.
Yeah, we've got a nice little Venn diagram of where the blue team wants to roam and where the red team wants to roam. Luckily for the blue team, it's a little bit more forward, a little bit more aggressive, but for the red team, that's okay. They're going to just play it a little bit safe right now because they only have that Malfurion in the mid lane.
It looks like Neptun is going to be trying to do that rotation between mid and bot for now and bot, but looking to maybe catch them, or well, it might have been for a second. SK was standing there, maybe getting ready to try to catch them back out here in the mid.
Yeah, it looks like this could potentially turn into a pretty big fight here. Kiefer's taking a little bit of damage from the overkill, but it doesn't look like anything's actually going to spill out and turn into a giant fight. Bakery did have to go the long way around, did not want to run in there. Jaina doesn't have any escapes, doesn't really have any mechanisms to get through a giant blockade of enemy heroes, so she's going to want to take the longer route and just play a little bit safer.
Well, the bot shrine is going to go to Neptun Gaming. Top still undecided, but it looks like SK is coming in here trying to get something done. A really good stun on Bad News area. Now she's rooted on top of that. So difficult to catch. A good Eldrin's Might and Smite will help kill her, but Rave getting very, very low. Will die to Phi, but will Phi die for that as well as she's getting very low, trying to get out? A great Blizzard will seal the deal there.
Yeah, this is such a crazy back and forth match. Siege trying to go back in here on Kiefer's not going to be successful in doing so. Brightwing did go down. Both these teams took out supports first. That was like their first and foremost objective here, was to take out that support, and both of them were successful, but Brightwing's got the ability to get right back into that fight, right back into that match, and that was really what kind of spilled them into saying, you know what, we can't take the shrine, we'll back up, because their support got here fast.
Well, Neptune has both shrines, so either SK is going to have to defend this mid for a while, or looks like they're instead going to all go up to top while leaving Muradin there in the mid, and they will be able to take up that top shrine. So for now, no Dragon Knight on the side of Neptune, but now they might even be able to get a Dragon Knight of their own. Nope, fight is coming in, going to stop Zarmany from getting that bottom shrine.
This is weird, seeing Zarmany not on an Uberak. In fact, seeing an Uberak being played by something completely different. We saw Fabulous playing him before, but we are just so accustomed to seeing Zarmany on that Uberak.
Tyrael picking up even in death. Non-heroic abilities can be used before exploding but deal no damage. So you're able to jump in and make sure that the bomb goes off on people using your Eldrain's Might. That is a crazy pickup.
I wonder if that's a misclick or if that's actually what he really wanted to go for. Sometimes in these professional games, even though we see it's a very competitive setting, etc., we see little weird pickups, and sometimes you're like, wow, I wonder if they're going for a crazy new build or something like that, but then you talk to the pros later on, and they're like, oh no, I accidentally misclicked. But you know what? That can be at least a little bit useful, and we'll see if that's actually what he intends to go for, if he's going to be using it a lot, or if he just kind of accidentally misclicked it and forced to use it now. Meanwhile, the top shrine's still completely over SK Gaming. SK taking a pretty nice lead already. It's 6-6, but SK just about half a level ahead.
Brightwing did get that promote, and that's stopping this push a little bit more, as now Snitch and Baker are able to start attacking this tower. They are taking down pretty quickly. Meanwhile, on bot, though, a similar push happening for Neptune Gaming, and they're going to be able to pick up 2 towers as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be the power of that melting point coming out here from the Tychus. Oh, actually, no, he didn't take up melting point. He took overkill range, which is very interesting. Spray and pray increases the overkill range by 15%. Synergizes really well with the level 1 talent, which allows for overkill to do 20% more damage. So it's going to allow that Tychus to play a little bit more safely when he's using that overkill, which is actually a pretty low range talent, but now with the increased range, it helps out quite a bit.
A great grenade helped them stop from being taken out by a gank. Now both shrines momentarily were held by Neptune, but SK were able to pick up the bottom one, and now poor Kael'thas being turned into a pig, still alive, still barely alive, trying to get away. Brightwing is chasing him down. Maybe with an Arcane Flare we'll be able to take him out. He's getting so close to their base. Will they be able to get him? A great frag grenade will seal the deal.
Wow, that was so close, and that's going to pick them an early frag. Yeah, we're going to go with FPS terms just to get that pun. And that's going to be a really nice pickup there. It's going to start evening up the levels just a little bit. Rave TGN a little bit caught, but Siege unable to follow up on that. Zarmany taking a lot of damage, but healed up. And the Vala is actually going to be the one who falls in that entire engagement.
SK starting to get ahead and experience a little bit, even getting a Loon's Grace on Malfurion. That's an interesting pickup there, increasing the range of his abilities. But Kael'thas, all of these kills are giving him stacks of gathering power. He's getting stronger and stronger, and that's going to be scary to deal with.
Yeah, looking at his stacks already, he's up to none actually already so far. He doesn't have any kills, I don't think, on the map. I'm trying to take a look. No, he doesn't have any kills yet. He's been up top all game with that Felon Fusion, keeping him in the sustainable lane for so long. Felon Fusion's so nice. Every like 6 seconds you get a really nice little boost of health, but Tychus getting picked up in the bot lane, and that's going to work really well because they're going to pick up the Shrine as well as these Siege Giants are going to help them push down this other tower.
Snitch is trying to maybe get I'm Fabulous to go away so that he can pick up that shrine on top. Maybe they can get the first Dragon Knight. They do have their heroic abilities, so it's a really good time for them to be able to make something happen here, as their opponents are going to be hesitant to try to engage in on that.
Yeah, there's no real easy way to go in on this, especially because of that level 10. And they've picked up a good amount of talents. Nothing too crazy though. Of course, as always, the Judgment, Water Elemental, Tranquility, Phoenix, and Avatar. But are they going to be able to actually keep all of their shrines and get this Dragon Knight is going to be my question. Level 10 has been grabbed here by Neptune Gaming.
You know, something I really noticed is that having Phoenix on this map makes it really easy to deny that Dragon Knight. It's very frustrating because that's cooldown. We love it. We know it. It's 40 seconds. But there they are. We've got Emerald Wind for Brightwing, as well as Commandeer Odin, Locust Swarm, Stage Dive, and Reign of Vengeance as the heroics for Neptune Gaming.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really nice amount of damage coming in here. Bad news, Eric actually getting hit on pretty hard, and he's going to go down. But the Shrine is going to go onto the top lane over to Neptune Gaming, so that's going to be really nice for him. for them, I should say, in order to actually take that loss, distract all of SK for the time being, and allow them to not get disallow them from getting that Dragon Knight.
Yeah, they actually use Judgment and Water Elemental for that, so that's 2 heroics. They're going to be down for a little bit, and we may see them play a little bit passively because of that. They're choosing to pick up their bruisers here, not going yet for that top shrine. They know that although they did take out Brightwing, as soon as she's up, she can phase shift back in, so it's not as big of a deal for her to be down in that she can get right back into the fight.
Yeah, but that little experience lead is going to help them get to that level 13 just a little bit quicker, and that's going to be one of those big items in which they can get a little bit more of that map presence. Blade now trying to press on in here, doing just a little bit of damage, trying to use that overkill to kind of poke around because it allows him to move around and not be too vulnerable. There is a good amount of damage, immediately melting those bruisers that they just picked up. All that hard work for naught.
Man, they're choosing to go for this push here, and ETC went down to the bot shrine to take it back, and there he is. He's got the stage dive in, but immediately gets rooted. Emerald Wind does keep Keepers off of them momentarily, who is getting pretty low. He's got to get back, but the Water Elemental is doing work to fight. There is a Judgment in, but they will melt a Nubarak in because of it. Tranquility not quite enough to keep him up, and now, oh, sorry, wrong team. And now, oh, Odin is done. Blade is getting very, very low. They want to come in, but Muradin will go down. Snitch as well. A little bit too far forward, and now it's a 2v2 here in terms of kills.
Yeah, this is going to be a really nice advantage to get Neptune back into this game. Are they going to be able to pick up Bakery as well? They are. Kael'thas, though, is going to lose his stacks. He did get taken out. Oh, the staff of Jaina now slowly disintegrating. That was kind of creepy. Anyway, but they have the map advantage right now as they've got 4 members out on the map. They've got the Brightwing back up in here as well. So they could potentially take this shrine. Rave is waiting right there, but I don't know if he should be waiting there. He could potentially get caught. Pretty strong engage coming in here from Fabulous as well as Bad News Eric, but not going to actually do enough because here comes the first Dragon Knight of the game at 9 minutes.
Neptune has finally been able to secure a Dragon Knight. They have their level 13 talents as well. They're actually even a little bit ahead in experience for the first time here in this game. So we'll have to see what they can get done with this Dragon Knight. They are going to continue in, it looks like, maybe try to take this fort down, or they might even rotate bottom, but for now I think they're going to try to stick here and maybe get this fort.
They can do a good amount of damage with this Dragon Knight, but they don't have any creeps really to soak up a lot of the fort damage. Trying to use an Uberax bugs. Keepers looks like he really wants to go in on Fabulous, taking a lot of damage. There is the Emerald Wind disengage, but the fort is going to go down here, so that's going to be a nice little victory for them. But at the same time, Fi taking too much damage, gonna go down. Keepers now in the back line because of the Dragon Kick before a siege, trying to hopefully peel off everybody here and go straight on into Blade, but Blade is just not able to do enough damage, and SK takes 3 members down here for Neptune Gaming, taking them back up into a very nice lead on the map. But can they actually press too much of that advantage?
Oh, Snitch knows exactly where Bad News area is, and this is bad news indeed, although he does get away from the gravity lapse. He's slowed from Bakery. They're dealing so much damage, and a great Blizzard will help seal the deal. And that's what I talk about, the power of Kael'thas and Jaina together. They have so much damage potential. They are huge damage dealers as spellcasters, and they took out Brightwing no problem.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy pickup for them. They do want to try and take out this fort, and that's going to be a little bit more experience trying to get them towards that 16 goal, but at the same time, we've got too many members out here of Neptune Gaming, Blade and Fi, proving to be too damagey for them to deal with at this time. So they're just going to disengage, they're going to go back home, they're going to heal up, and they're going to try something else. Looks like they want to go start for a couple of these mercenary camps, maybe even push this bot lane pretty hard.
Something to note is that in that last engagement, Brightwing does have the Emerald Wind for the disengage, like we saw. But when you use that early on, then you still have Judgment and Dwarf Toss from Muradin left, and they used that right away as soon as the Emerald Wind was over, and it was really difficult for them to be able to disengage off of that Emerald Wind.
Yeah, and that's going to be the really nice ability for them to just kind of start putting these battles a little bit more in their favor, put the tempo a little bit more in their favor. Getting those Emerald Winds are going to be able to allow them to just kind of disengage for when everything's kind of popped and everything's used here for SK Gaming, giving them a little bit of a breather, and then they can re-engage when all those cooldowns are down. So let's see if they can actually do that again and really kind of turn that battle back in their favor. But level 16, very, very close here for SK Gaming. They've got to be a little bit scared.
Yeah, both teams are right on the edge of SK Gaming, and there goes the stage dive and the engage from Nubarak, but a huge stun. So many people got stunned there. A great Emerald Wind pushes some people away. Volley goes down. There's a Judgment onto Brightwing, and Judgment that will take her out right away. There is Tychus as well. He is going to go down. ETC getting very low and stunned for days. So dead, and a team wipe in favor of SK Gaming. They're going for this fort. I bet they go straight into the keep as well.
Oh my god, SK Gaming is absolutely dominating now. It looks like they even want to cut straight on through to the keep. They've got a good amount of time before there's going to be anybody coming back up here for Neptun Gaming, and this is going to be a nice little advantage that they want to use. But no, it looks like they just want to back up. They are really low on mana. Even with Malfurion's Innervate, it's just not enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately Malfurion cannot innervate himself, and he is also low on mana, so they're instead going to be content with grabbing Shrines on their way back to base, and then Kael'thas is going to look to pick up the Dragon Knight right away.
Level 16 has been grabbed here by Neptune, and they can lag out this Dragon Knight for quite a bit while they wait for the mana, everybody to come back from getting that mana. And that's going to allow them to really just kind of come back into this fight, come back in with a Dragon Knight, with a full refresh, a full rejuvenation on all of their members, and be able to fight pretty confidently. Level 18 just a bit to be grabbed by them as well, so they're going to be sitting at a pretty nice 2-level lead.
Well, Crutorize and 2 Blood for Bloods on the side of Neptune, so they are going to have the potential to burn down someone a lot faster now. Even picking up an interesting phase shield there at 13 for Brightwing, so really trying to get more sustainability there, especially since they have the Emerald Wind instead of the Blink Heal. They've already taken down this fort, and now SK Gaming are heading in toward the Keep Towers.
And this is going to be where they really want to start making their question of whether or not they're going to be able to take out another keep. Now, mind you, Bakery is sitting there, right there, waiting for a really good time to get a couple of blizzards down. But the real question here is that Snitch is sitting in their Dragon Knight, so they don't have a lot of their damage. The Chain Bomb, oh sorry, not the Chain Bomb, the Flame Strike potential of Kael'thas. I keep trying to call him Kael'thas. Kael'thas, in order to really kind of besiege there. They didn't really have the opportunity or the fortune of being able to get one of their tanks in that Dragon Knight. But now that Snitch is free, this could potentially turn into them going for a little bit more of a crazy match, because now Flame Strike is available to them.
Yeah, and you know, even just kind of posturing there in the mid allowed the minions to go in and take out the top fort of Neptune Gaming. So that's giving a lot more of an experience lead to SK. They are near those storm level talents, and I think we'll see them just try to push into getting the lanes as much as possible. They're even going for these bruisers up top versus trying to really get too much of an engagement, as they would love to be a talent tier up before that.
This is a really good spot here for Neptune to possibly go for a contest, because there was just a huge amount of SK kind of put all in a very, very small area. Unfortunately, they didn't really have the manpower available. They had most of their team kind of split up. Looks like they could potentially still go for a team fight. Fi does take a little bit of damage. There's that Ignite. Also throwing in that Living Bomb, but here comes Siege going in for that stage dive. Can they actually melt anybody here? That's going to be the question here. It looks like Vala's going to go down too quickly. Fabulous going to go down as well. Siege now in the back line, and that's going to mean he goes down as well. That's 3 members melted here of Neptune Gaming, and now SK is going to be able to come in here and finish off this keep.
Oh man, in Snitch grabbing a great gravity lapse on Brightwing, followed up by those tenacious roots of Malfurion, means they are even going to take down Brightwing on top of that. This will be keep, and we all know what SK likes to do. They're going straight for the core, even jumping in on it.
Yeah, and that was definitely what they wanted to do there. They knew that they've got a good amount of time before anybody comes back up here. The Tychus is trying to do some damage, but he's just not going to be able to, especially with the zoning, entangling roots coming out there from Rave TGN. And this means that SK is going to go on into Enter the Storm Cup number 2 as they take a 2-0 victory over their opponents, Neptune Gaming.
Congratulations to SK Gaming, but Neptune still have a chance. There are 2 more qualifiers left, and I bet we will see them in them.
I really hope so. So that's going to be next weekend. We've got 2 more qualifiers. We've got a number of teams in here already, and now SK Gaming is going to join that roster. So I'm really excited to see how SK Gaming does in Enter the Storm Cup number 2. But this was qualifier number 10. They're going to take their victory. Second place is going to go to Neptune Gaming, but unfortunately that doesn't mean they get seeded into the next set, which is going to be the Cup. So they got to come back for another qualifier to possibly get in there. But I'm pretty excited to say that we are done today.
We are. We can go get some food. It's been a long day of casting, but it has been so much fun to get to cast this and to cast with you, Shamtu.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's been quite a good amount of fun casting all of these European games, and of course, casting alongside the illustrious Gillyweed. So we'll be taking our leave of now, but guys, thank you so much. You can follow Gillyweed on Twitter at twitter.com/Gillyweed, am I correct?
It's actually Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, Gillyweed SC2.
Ooh.
And I do stream Heroes every weekday at an EU-friendly time, 8 p.m. GMT. So if you guys ever want to come in and hang out, that would be a blast for you to do so.
All right, and of course, you can follow me at twitter.com/sham2 and find out what I'm doing and what I'm up to. Of course, you can also follow Gosu Gamer Hots to figure out what Gosu Gamers is doing and the next couple of Enter the Storm Cups. And of course, follow Gosu Gamers themselves because they're the ones who are helping out with everything. We'd like to thank the sponsors. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. I believe it's